you'll not only know who you want to become as your best self, but you'll have a goal that you can start to reach towards. And if you're watching this and it's like, December 13th, I'm not saying that you got to try to do this by the end of this year, right? What I do want to challenge you is to do this for 12 months. If you feel like 12 months is too much, do it for 6 months. 6 months is more than enough. You could tackle 6 different areas of your life and then work towards building the best version of what you found out in the remaining 6 months.
5 shows made 3 million a week. You are now looking at the Bestie Elite. You are now looking at the Bestie Elite. You are now looking at the best.
Welcome back, besties. I'm Lola Shell, and together we're becoming the best, aka our best selves, this year and every year. The best are never the best by themselves, and you shouldn't be either. If you haven't already, go ahead and join the best here on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button, and add your bestie by liking and sharing this with someone you want the best for. Now, grab your water, because the best get thirsty. And let's go. Bestie, we're talking how to become your best self, even if you're not sure who your best self is. Okay, I know in the large age of social media, it's so easy to hear these trigger words, rebrand yourself, reinvent yourself, becoming your best self. And I know because I use them, right? But I also deliver. And this is going to be one of them because I have started to realize that a lot of people want to become their best self, but honestly do not even know what the best version of themselves really looks like. And I'm here to give you guys a quick disclaimer while you're grabbing your pencil and your paper, is that your best self is going to change. Surprise, surprise, okay? The point is to give yourself an anchor that you can work towards, and as you get closer, you can adjust. This does not mean that you're gonna just change lanes every 30 business days, right? It does mean that, hey, the best self that you thought was simply going to the gym 3 times a week, your best version of yourself might actually be going to the gym 5 times a week. The best version of yourself, who you feel like always has on a cute outfit, might actually be somebody who is like one of the best accessorizers you've ever met. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you might not know everything, but you can always take the first step. You might not even be able to see the whole staircase, but you can take the first step. So even if you don't know what the ultimate version of yourself is, and sometimes even if you do, the point is to craft a version of yourself that you aspire to and then start working towards that. You can refine it along the way, as long as you start. Let's get to it. The first thing you're going to do to learn how to become your best self, even when you're not sure who your best self is to write down things about your current self that you really like and don't like, and put them into categories. So mentally, career-wise, business-wise, financially, family, social, physical, spiritual. Write down those areas and then look at each of them and really see what you love that you're already doing and what you don't like that you're already doing. Trust me, it's going to come in handy. Don't hold anything back. If you want this to be simple, just put 3 things in each category for the like and the don't like. If you want to be exemplary, that's the word, okay? I got it. It's there. I found it. If you want to be wow, and then I lost it that fast. Exemplary. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Exemplary. Just so you guys know, if you ever get like stuck saying a word, that's what I do. That's what helped me inside of like theater. So you're welcome. But if you want to be exemplary, what you're going to do is you're actually going to write out the things big and small in each of those categories until you feel like you've done your bit. Okay? Once you got it all out with real paper and real pen, pencil, crayon, you're going to start watching it get real. Now, once everything's written down, the good, bad, and the ugly, you're going to look at those areas as experiment places, okay? That's where you're going to have fun and you're going to discover who your best self is. The point here, okay, is to get more of what you want in that area and less of what you don't, okay? That, as simple as that sounds, it's just that simple. We make it very complicated when we try to do this for every single area all at once. This is where the rest of this method comes into play. All right. But remember, overall, you are going to look at this as a space to have fun. to discover, to play. All right? Do not take this super serious, especially if, again, you don't know who your best self is. This is your time to discover it, okay? So have fun, all right? You're already going to be putting into a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of, consistency, okay? When you're becoming your best self. So until you have that etched out, have fun with this, okay? All right, let's keep going. So here's how you're going to start to close the gap once you're in this discovery phase. Is you're going to start to look at all the things that are in each of these areas of your life in the don't section. So the things that you don't want your best self to do, if you are currently doing those things, the first thing you want to do is take your foot off the brake of your life by getting rid of those things. Okay, it won't matter how many things you do that are positive towards your best self if you're still doing a lot of the negative things that are holding you back from your best self, which is why I told you guys, take your foot off the brake. If you're driving a car and your foot is on the gas and the brake at the same time, the car will not go. Doesn't matter how much gas you're giving it, if your foot is on the brake at the same time, the car will not go. Same thing with your best self, especially the best self that you're still trying to discover. You want this to be fun, you got to get rid of the things that are not fun, which are the things that you're doing that you know your best self wouldn't do. If you know that your best self is a really good communicator, then if right now you don't talk to your family, your friends, your loved ones, unless they talk to you first, you need to stop doing that. Because a great communicator knows how to initiate a conversation, knows how to reach out first, knows how to maintain communication. You see what I'm saying here? You get it. You get it. So look at those areas of what you know your best self wouldn't do. And if you are doing those things, choose today to stop them. Cold turkey. And if some things are a little bit more difficult, like, the best version of you doesn't drink. And right now you love a good cocktail. You love a good happy hour, if you will. Then maybe slowly taking yourself out of those rotations and replacing certain cocktails with sparkling water or mocktails. Some things are a little bit harder to quit cold turkey, especially if you're trying to figure out who your best self is. Okay, give yourself grace. But if there are things like, waiting to have a conversation until someone reaches out to you, you could stop that today. You could literally reach in your phone, text a friend that you haven't talked to in months, and stop that bad habit today. You see what I'm saying? So start looking at the list of things that your best self wouldn't do in each of those areas. And if you're currently doing them, stop. Now that you're taking your foot off of the brake of your best self, the next thing you're going to do is choose an area each month and experience with what you do want there. So experiment with what you do want there. So let's go back into like that communication, right? If your best version of yourself is really great at public speaking, right? They're great at public speaking. The best version of yourself is really good at public speaking because they're great at talking to friends and family members. They're great at engaging small groups and large groups of people. And at the highest version of yourself, you are not afraid to speak in public, right? Okay? How would you experiment with that once a month, right? Picking a month and doing an experiment with that. You could do Toastmasters, right? To get better at speaking and getting rid of the ums and ahs and uhs and is. Like I should probably do Toastmasters because I say a lot. I do that a lot, but I'm not afraid of speaking publicly. So I just think of it more as like a personality quirk versus I am in a board meeting and I just don't know how to not say like yeah you know what I'm saying. But if the best version of you is expert at being a public speaker, then for a month, if you were to focus on that, you might figure out, I actually need to start speaking up in meetings at my job more, public speaking. I should do Toastmasters to get more confident in expressing myself without stumbling over my words. I should do karaoke. You know what I'm saying? Like you could list these stuff out so that for a month you are playing, you are experimenting on what could happen. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get the ball rolling. You see what I'm saying? This is why I'm like, as you're trying to figure out who your best self would be, doing these experiments also helps you to understand how that feels. Because maybe your best self isn't a really good public speaker. Maybe they're just really good at communicating with people they don't know. Maybe that's ultimately what you wanted to gain from being an expert public speaker. You want to be confident in front of people when really you actually just wanted to be able to communicate with people that you don't know without any anxiety. You don't need to be 1,000 people on a stage. You just need to be able to, when you walk in a room, if none of your friends are there, still have a good time. approaching it like that over the course of that month is going to help you to see actually what you're really looking forward to in your best self. Because if doing the karaoke, you're dying because you don't know how to sing and you don't want to have to sing to connect with people, or going to Toastmasters, you realize that you actually don't stumble over your words as much as you thought. And then when you speak up more at your job, you realize that that feels really good because you're able to be an authority in a group of people. So that might actually show you that really you just want to have a more authoritative presence when you speak. That could be the version of your best self that you're really aspiring to get to. That is where the discovery and the fun comes into play. And you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't be able to tap into that without experimenting here. Especially if you've never built a best version of yourself before, you've never figured out what that actually looked like for you. By doing this process, you can actually put yourself in a position to learn from having fun in the areas that you say that you want for the best version of yourself. You can discover those areas, figure out what you actually want and what you thought you want. And then after this experiment, you can move forward with a clear version of what you want your best self to be, and then start to really set yourself up for that. Make sense? So here's the fun part, bestie. After you've done these monthly experiments, by the end of the year, okay, you'll not only know who you want to become as your best self, but you'll have a goal that you can start to reach towards. And if you're watching this and it's like, December 13th, I'm not saying that you got to try to do this by the end of this year, right? What I do want to challenge you is to do this for 12 months. If you feel like 12 months is too much, do it for 6 months. 6 months is more than enough. You could tackle 6 different areas of your life and then work towards building the best version of what you found out in the remaining 6 months. You could start this in March. You could start this in, September. You could start this in a January or in December. It doesn't matter, but really thinking of it in like a yearly transformation can do wonders. Because once you actually know how to create your best self, you can continue to reinvent your best self as many times as you want. Now, I'm not saying switch gears every time something's not going the way you want to. Stick it out, learn from it, follow the process. But once you've reached those goals that you set for your best self in different areas of your life, and it's time to set new ones, you'll know exactly what to do. Once you've gotten to a point where you've accomplished something and you found out, actually, this really didn't do what I thought it was going to do for me in my life. And I think the best version of myself doesn't really do that, or does something more, does something different. You'll be able to use this process to figure out what that is, set that as your new best self, and strive towards it, okay? But again, remember, don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. That's all for today, besties. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and comment your best tip below. Remember, the best is yet to come. See you on the next one.